Style. Style is the answer to everything. A fresh way to approach a dull or dangerous thing. To do a dangerous thing with style is what I call art.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to the AFV factory. So since my last video I'm continuing to work on the E-25 tracks and lower hull. So with regard to the tracks, what I've done since the last video is I've gone over them with a coat of the light dust deposits, the AK. And I didn't dilute that at all, I just simply brushed it on, not too heavy, just enough to cover but not to sort of bleed through to the other side, which did, it kind of started to tie the colours in a bit more. It covered up a lot of the overspray that I had for the when I sprayed the wheels. So yeah, that was the start of the weathering. Everything I'd done prior to that had just been done with it, the airbrush and different coloured, different tones of paint. So secondly, I then gave it a couple of coats of the buff titanium oil paint. And again, I didn't over dilute it. I simply had some of the oil paints on a card. I had a brush that was wet with the low odour thinners, and then I would just sort of work some paint onto the brush, and then again just following along paint around the track everywhere that it can be seen. And if I put it on and it was a bit too heavy or it wasn't diluted enough, I just dilute it down a little bit more, and vice versa. If I put it on too thin and it wasn't going to be leaving enough of the paint behind, I just went back over it. So essentially it's got a heavier dusting coat than what you would have seen me doing when I did the underside. So that's where it stands now. The oils and the enamels went in between the raised parts of the track, because those I shall go over with a graphite pencil and bring those up to being quite shiny as the tracks have come in contact with the hard dry ground. But as you can see that there's, where I haven't done any work on there, these raised parts of the link are darker, and that gives a good effect. You don't want it all the same colour. I've probably said this on numerous occasions. So that is going to be the next step, is going back over this with a combination of oils and the enamels, primarily just so as I can get the right colours that I want, and without losing the dusty effect too much, I will add colour and tone variation into that, so that there are different, because it's gone over various different things and crushed bricks and crushed concrete, and it still will have gone through dirt and dust. So the tracks in reality would not be all the same. They would be a variety of tones depending on what the vehicle has driven over, and so that's where I shall be going with that next. I'm unsure whether I'll do any pigments on this, because I'm just going to try and experiment and see how far I can take these without the use of pigments. The whole idea of this vehicle, as I've said in the past, is that it's a very, dusty, dry environment. It's the height of summer, it hasn't rained for ages, and so I don't want there to be too much of a build-up of look like mud. Even if it's dried mud, I feel that by this time with a vehicle that's operational and running around, the mud that it may have picked up earlier on in the year would have almost certainly dried and come away. So I'm humming and hawing. As you can see, I've still got that to do, or not to do, I've gone over that. Once the tracks are complete and once I'm happy with the tracks, I will then decide whether I shall go any further on this or whether I shall just leave it as it is. For two reasons. One, you're not going to see very much of it once the tracks are on, virtually none of it. So it's always a toss-up as to how far you take these things when no one is ever going to see it, even yourself. I mean, you know you've done it, and that's kind of a nice feeling to know that you haven't left any parts undone. But you know, it is a time thing, and more importantly, it is a use of your products. And with things being as they are at the moment, money doesn't go very far. It's nice if you can stretch out these products and make them last as long as you can. So I will now, as I said, I shall now get on to the tracks with another colour. I'll pick out something and go over that, and then we'll see what that looks like at the end. I've picked out 4 colours for the continuation of the weathering on the tracks. So I've got raw senna, burnt umber, white and engine grease. So I've got the artist's oils there, just leaching the oil out into the cardboard. The MIG Abtalon 502 ones, you don't need to do that, so they're both just there separately. And I will be just applying them randomly here and there and trying to enhance these tracks without taking away the dusty look that they've currently got.
Everything that happens is motivation.
it there for now and let those colours settle. It's looking quite patchy at the moment, and it might mean going back over those and toning those down a little bit, but that's basically what it's all about, really, is finding that balance. And as usual, they're actually looking much brighter through this video than they do in real life, to be honest. So, but I'm pleased with how that's turned out. It's, as I said, it's a bit might be a bit over the top in places, but then I can just go back over it, and that's the joy with oils. You can just keep going back over it and working it until you're happy with the end product. So I'll leave it there for now. There will be another video, obviously, when I get around to doing some more weathering on this E-25. So many thanks for tuning in and liking and subscribing, and I'll catch up with you soon.